The Law Society of Kenya have been reduced to fistfights, and the differences between LSK President Nelson Havi and embattled CEO Mercy Wambua widens. The CEO, who was forcefully sent on an indefinite leave just months after Havi's election in February 2020, is facing 17 charges of gross misconduct and incompetence. But Havi believes the leadership crisis at the Gitanga Road Society is state-castigated to cripple his activism against President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration.
For close to 2 years now, alleged hired goons and armed police officers have been frequent visitors at the Law Society of Kenya LSK offices along Gitanga Road in Nairobi, and fistfights have become synonymous to the once vibrant institution whose membership comprises of learned friends and advocates of the High Court. LSK President Nelson Havi has locked horns with a section of LSK council members over the sacking of CEO Mercy Wambua, whose forced exit followed audit queries surrounding the mysterious loss of 70 million shillings in October last year.
But things have taken a turn because of his quest for audit, which is very justifiable. But the problem, I can say, is like lack of accommodation of views of others, so that at least the audit process can be done according to the set regulations of the society.
Do I have anything personal against her? None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Who demanded the audit? Not me. In fact, I'm a novice in matters accounts. I wouldn't know anything. But the members on their own reviewed the books. And when I put the question to vote, they said, no, Mr. President, we will not approve these books. There's a query here, there's a query there.
Because of this frustration in getting the bank accounts and the status of the accounts and finances of the society, Council made up of 13 members unilaterally issued a notice to show cause to Mercy Wambua. When that notice was issued, that is where the beginning of the problems that you've seen here started.
Although Havi insists his bitter fallout with his chief executive is squarely professional, LSK Vice President Caroline Kamende, who doubles up as the chair of the Staff Budget and Finance Committee, claims the audit reports indicate and explain transactions to past and present LSK members. However, Wambua has dismissed the claims, accusing Havi of imposing his own audit demands to set her up.
I mean, if you were to audit the entire account, it's not even an issue about 70 million, it's more than that. So that is in relation to the accounts for 2020, 2019 backwards. The council, as we were last year, we also initiated a forensic audit of our accounts for the year 2020 backwards. This is something that has been frustrated up to this very point.
In my analysis, as the head of finance, is because there are persons who have been involved, and it has not started now. Councils, past presidents, past council members, the secretariat itself have been involved in misappropriating millions and millions of the finances of the Law Society.
Because as we speak, hundreds of millions of shillings contributed by members have not been accounted for. What better way to prevent the conduct of the audit than interfere in the manner in which they have interfered?
LSK, the main problem we're facing through now is the officials who have elected. And we have thought that they will come up with a young energy to solve. They have forgotten the reason why they were elected. And they have tried to engage in a fight of self-interest to see if every person or every official, his or her interest, will outweigh the interest of the other elected officials. That is the main problem that's ailing LSK today.
I can say Havi is semi-dictatorial because he is trying to impose an audit firm to do an audit of the Law Society of Kenya. He went ahead and also advertise for positions of the CEO and other member and other vacant and other positions without even like following the procedure, you know.
In July last year, during their annual general meeting, LSK members tasked the council to hire an external auditor to investigate the discrepancies in the accounts. On the 10th of August the same year, the council invited interested external forensic auditors to submit quotations, and according to Kamende, only one auditor, who would later get the job, responded to the call. But according to Wambua, the council has had a buzz for the auditor and that she would submit the financial statement of the society for forensic audit as long as the council followed the procedure in appointing the auditor. But the money and power struggle at the LSK has in turn weakened the society's operations. But according to Havi, LSK's woes have been occasioned by his fierce criticism of President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration, having challenged the legality of the current parliament, as well as the recently trashed BBI referendum bill. But not all his flock believe in their learned friend's chosen path.
If you look at things right now, it has reached to a point whereby we have goons that break into the Law Society of Kenya offices, destroy property, which is not okay. And service delivery has also been hindered due to these leadership wrangles.
The wrangles within the leadership of the Law Society are designed and fueled by the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And the goal is simple: to undermine the independence of the bar in order that the current administration may continue violating the Constitution and disobeying the rule of law.
I served under the previous administrations, and I'll tell you for sure, the former presidents would not have taken up head-on the way he has taken up BBI, the way he took up dissolution of parliament. He has done extremely well.
His quest for audit is very acceptable, and we are very hospitable to it. Everyone is very hospitable to it, but let it be done through a normal process. He should not use he should not justify what is going on by saying that there's interference from, I don't know, deep state, from police, from BBI, because of BBI issues, all these things. Let him be a diplomatic leader, so that at least if Mercy Wambua is guilty, then we are very ready, at least as members of the bar, to make sure that she carries her own cross at this stage.
The divisive Havi-Wambua brawl has created a rift within the society. Earlier this month, the two factions of the society's leadership clashed over access to the LSK premises. Havi had previously put a notice with Wambua's picture on his social media platforms and a local newspaper, saying she is no longer the CEO and should not carry out any business on behalf of LSK, further announcing the appointment of Josephat Mutisi as the new CEO, a position that had attracted 3 applicants by the end of the application period on the 14th of July. But according to Wambua, a court order she obtained 2 months after her termination restricts Havi from interfering with her contract that is due in February next year.
That led me to the answer I wanted. You understand?
Havi, however, is convinced that President Kenyatta and Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i to be the co-conspirators of the wrangles to not only discredit the LSK, but also influence the succession politics before the LSK elections next year.
So there's no division in council.
It's a division on the basis of values. On one side, the council, as we were in 2020, as we were elected in early 2020, on one side, there are those of us who want to uphold the rule of law and constitutionalism and ensure accountability and transparency. On the other side, there are those who want to hold on to and ensure there's no accountability, that the past, as was there, continues.
You realize why this employee who was fired, this employee who members have sent home on compulsory leave, is insistent on remaining in office. We're almost 2 years in our term. Mercy has not taken leave. And as it's customary of all CEOs, culpable for impropriety, they don't want to go home because they suspect when they are at home, improprieties will be disclosed. Therein lies the problem. Who has sustained Mercy Kalondu in office? Several governmental officers, commencing with the Cabinet Secretary, Interior. Interrogate it further. In the many cases in court, who is the lawyer for Mercy Kalondu Wambua? Waweru Gatonye. Who is the lawyer for the Attorney General Karuki Kiara in many cases we have in court? It's Waweru Gatonye. Who is the lawyer for President Uhuru Kenyatta? Is Waweru Gatonye. You don't need to have studied psychology, atomic physics to decipher this.
It now appears that money and power struggle may be at the heart of the dispute within the LSK that has since degenerated into fistfights, with the infighting between LSK President Nelson Havi and Chief Executive Officer Mercy Wambua splitting the once vibrant society right in the middle. Musa Salah, TV 47.